Welcome to the course of Loading and Unloading School Bus Drivers, NHTSA School Bus Drivers in Service Safety Series. Hello, my name is Lintoya Means, and I'm a certified instructor with Fulton County Schools South Transportation. And also, I have with me Scott Wilder, also a certified instructor of North Transportation.
Hello everyone. Today we will be talking about how important your job is as a school bus driver and how your job requires a high level of skills and can be very demanding. As a school bus driver, you must handle a vehicle that weighs over 30,000 pounds and is almost 40 feet long and over 10 feet high. While driving this large vehicle, you must deal with other drivers on the road and manage students on your bus at the same time. You must work with parents, teachers, school staff, and other people you will encounter. Of all the skills and challenges you have, loading and unloading is among the most critical and dangerous things you do.
Learning objectives. At the completion of this module, participants will be able to, number 1, state what the danger zones are. Number 2, explain the importance of the danger zones. Number 3, teach students about the danger zones. Number 4, describe ways to keep track of the students in the danger zones. Number 5, describe the proper loading and unloading procedures. Number 6, conduct a post-trip inspection. Statistics. On average, about 30 school-aged children die in school bus-related crashes each year. Half of all school-age pedestrians killed in school bus-related crashes are the age of 5 to 7 years old. Overview. Drivers should be aware that the principal point of the impact is in the front of the bus. Most fatal school bus-related crashes occur during the day when the weather is clear. In most cases, students are injured or killed by their own bus. The driver is legally responsible, and he or she will have to live with the experience for a lifetime. Module purpose. The purpose of this module is to review the proper procedures for loading and unloading. We will begin by examining the danger zones and finish with a step-by-step guide to performing a post-trip inspection. The danger zones. It is important to understand the danger zones prior to discussing loading and unloading. The danger zones are 12 feet in front of the bus, 12 feet behind the bus, and 12 feet on either side of the bus. The areas that are most dangerous are across the front of the bus and along the right side of the bus towards the back. Risk factors. The students that are most vulnerable are ages 5 to 7. They are impulsive, inexperienced, and smaller. It is harder to see them, and they are the most at risk. After school runs are more dangerous than morning runs. Students have been sitting quietly all day, and they are ready to move and less likely to pay attention to what's going on in the surrounding areas.
How to get on and off a school bus safely. You must remind kids and teenagers how to get on and off the bus safely each day. By telling them and reminding them of the rules and procedures, you are setting expectations that they can follow. Some of the general rules are: students should always walk 12 feet in front of the bus and never behind the bus. Students should always wait at least 6 giant steps, about 12 feet away from the side of the bus. Students should also move at least 6 giant steps away from the bus immediately after getting off the bus. If a child or student drops something, they should tell the driver and never try to pick it up. The student should signal to get the driver's attention from a safe location and then follow additional instructions. These are a few basic rules, but there are many others that can improve safety also, like making sure students know what the scheduled stop time is for their bus stop and that they should be at the bus stop 5 minutes before the scheduled time. Students should never run to catch the bus. Getting on the bus. If students have to cross the road to get on the school bus, they should stay on the side of the road away from traffic until the bus stops and the driver signals to cross. When the driver signals that it is safe to cross, students should first check for traffic. Many students have been killed or injured by motorists illegally passing a stopped school bus. So students and the drivers must check for traffic in both directions, left and right. As the students cross in front of the school bus, they should watch and make eye contact with the driver. When boarding the bus, the students should use the handrail. They should move toward their seats and sit down quickly.
Getting off the bus. Number 1, students should stay seated until the bus comes to a complete stop. Number 2, students should not push or play on their way off the bus. Number 3, students should use the handrails to avoid falls. They should also watch for clothing, draw strings and straps to make sure that it does not get caught in the handrails or the door. Number 4, students should glance back towards the rear of the bus before they step off the bus. Number 5, students should move 12 feet away from the bus all at once. Number 6, if students must cross the road to get home, they should stay on the side of the road the bus let them off on, away from traffic. 12 feet ahead of the bus where they can see the driver's face. When the driver signals that it is safe to cross, students should cross to the outside edge of the bus, checking for both ways of traffic. If it is clear, they should cross quickly. If it is not clear, they should return to the curb. Number 7, once students get off the bus, they should go directly home. Give the signal. Drivers should have a safe to cross signal. Drivers should teach this signal to their students. Drivers should be aware of motorists. They may perceive the hand signal as an indication to proceed. Drivers, expect the unexpected. No matter how much you prepare, students will be students. They will do impulsive and foolhardy things. It is up to you to protect them, even if they are unpredictable.
Loading and unloading occurs numerous times each day. At the numerous bus stops, and then unloading at the schools in the morning. Then in the afternoon, loading in the afternoon at the schools and at the numerous bus stops. Loading and unloading happens many times during the day and requires your complete focus. It's good to have some help when loading and unloading. At school, there should be school personnel there to help supervise and remind students of safe procedures. In the morning, never unload elementary school students at the elementary school unless the school staff is present and ready to receive students. In the afternoon at the schools, it's Fulton County policy for all drivers to be on their bus with their key on and the video running before students begin to load. In the neighborhoods, there are sometimes helpful parents, particularly at stops with young children. Unfortunately, sometimes parents are not helpful and may need some diplomatic guidance from the driver, or even maybe a phone call from your supervisor. It is important to maintain a professional and friendly demeanor at all times when interacting with parents and school staff. The driver should remain on the bus at all times while students are present. At the start of the school year, drivers might want to give parents instructions on bus stop safety for themselves and for their children. The instruction could include points that would be helpful during loading and unloading. Points like staying 12 feet back away from the roadside and away from the danger zone. Only approaching the bus and loading after the driver gives the hand signal that it's safe to do so. There are some critical things to remember during loading and unloading. 1. Don't rush. In addition to not speeding, don't get complacent and decide to skip over part of the loading and unloading procedure. Loading and unloading a bus properly can be a matter of life or death. Focus on what you are doing. If you're running late on a route, don't hurry. Remember, it's better to be safe than sorry. A good motto is safety first, schedule second. Here are some additional safety tips for loading and unloading. Loading and unloading requires all of your concentration. Don't take your eyes off of what's happening outside the bus. If there's a behavior problem on the bus, wait until the students unloading are safely off the bus and moved away. If necessary, pull the bus over to handle the problem. Use consistent hand signals. Use hand signals to tell the students it's safe to cross the street. Point with a straight arm at the students. Move your arm in the direction you want them to go. The hand signal should not be confused with a wave, as waiting motorists might think you're telling them to pass. Teach the students that a long blowing of your horn will signal danger. Use it if a motorist runs your stop arm and your loading lights. This signal will mean to them to return to the side of the road you started from at once. Count and recount. Know how many students should get on at a bus stop. Count them. If there's any missing, ask where they are. Check outside the bus if you have any questions. As the students get off at a bus stop, count them. Then before you move the bus, count them again as they move away. Don't move until you're sure they are all away from the bus. If you can't account for a child outside the bus, secure the bus, set the parking brake, place the gear in neutral, and check around and underneath the bus. Count at every bus stop every day. Assume the worst from approaching cars and motorists. Even though they're not supposed to, motorists often pass a stopped school bus. They pass in front, back, and on both sides. Make sure you give plenty of warning by turning on your amber loading lights about 300 feet from the bus stop where you'll be doing loading and unloading. Don't let students off until you're sure it's safe, that you've checked your mirrors and there's no vehicles coming from the front or the back or on either side. Make a record anytime there's a stop arm violation. Give it to your supervisor. Check your mirrors every day before each trip. Make sure that you can see what you need to be able to see, and don't hesitate to get help adjusting your mirrors if you need it. When loading and unloading, look into all of your mirrors slowly and carefully. When you've accounted for all of your students and checked for pedestrians, confirm that your entire danger zone is clear. After you've checked your danger zone and accounted for all students, then check your mirrors again for traffic before pulling away from the bus stop. The following is a short video illustrating the step-by-step procedures, including checking your mirrors for bus stop student loading.
Student loading. Activate amber loading lights and check mirrors while approaching the bus stop. Stop bus, set parking brake and shift to neutral. Give hand signal to hold students. Check all mirrors before opening the door. Open the front door to activate the red loading lights, stop arm, and crossing gate. Check all mirrors again to ensure that all traffic has stopped. Signal door side students to load. Check your mirrors to ensure that traffic is still stopped. Give the signal for students to cross the street. Check your mirrors, close the front door, shift to drive, release parking brake. Before proceeding on, use your mirrors again to check the danger zone for students.
Stopping. Stay to the right side of the roadways when loading and unloading. Do not try to block all traffic. A bus driver should not stop a school bus within an intersection or within 50 feet or any stop sign or traffic control signal. Stay in the traffic lane, not on the shoulder. Stop before you get to your students. They should walk to you so you can see them. Never pull into a group of students hanging around the curb or in the street. Stay back 12 feet and wait for the students to clear the loading zone before you pull in. Secure your bus whenever you load or unload. Set parking brake and place gear selector into neutral. Things to watch for: stragglers, students who do not cross with the group, students running for a missed bus, dropped items. Fog. Fog reduces visibility. You can't see students. Other vehicles cannot see you. If fog is a problem in your area, plan with the students to have them to wait as far from the road as possible. Drivers, expect the unexpected. No matter how much you prepare, students will be students. They will do impulsive and foolhardy things. It is up to you to protect them, even if they are unpredictable.
Drivers should watch for unusual hazards as you approach the bus stop. Unusual hazards might be suspicious people, or gangs, pets, or dangerous animals, cars backing out of driveways, or even construction. Report any unusual or hazardous situations to dispatch. Trust your judgment. Your judgment is often better than students. Only let students off the bus if you feel it is safe.
Post-trip inspection. When your route is finished, it is time to conduct a post-trip inspection for your bus. Number 1, things you should look for are sleeping students. Always walk to the back of the bus to make sure no children have missed their stops. Articles left on bus. Collect them and turn them in. Open windows or doors. Make sure that you close them. Damage or vandalism. Make sure that you report the damage to your supervisor. Look under the bus and around the bus, both inside and outside. Check for problems with the bus. Report any problems to maintenance. Make sure that your bus is ready to go for the next trip. Make sure the mirrors are adjusted. Make sure wheelchair tie-downs are in order. And number 3, always secure the bus.
The following is a short video containing the procedures and details for a pre-trip and post-trip inspection for the school year 2020-21.
In this video, we are going to go over the 10-minute pre-trip and the new COVID-19 protocol. Let's discuss the COVID-19 protocol. You must wear a mask while students or staff are present. You will be provided with reusable masks. You are to remind your students they can wear a mask. Disinfectant spray will be provided for you to wipe down high-touch areas in between routes. There will be a sanitation station on your bus. There will be managed seating for students on the bus. The buses will be sprayed after the morning and afternoon runs. Before you get on the bus to do your pre-trip, make sure you have your CDL license with you and you have a face mask on. It's required. The first thing you need to do is clock in. Turn the ignition to the on position. This will activate the Synovia tablet. Press the Start. Enter your employee number. Press Next. Select Driver. Select Regular Route. After the authentication, your name should appear. Press Continue to finish clocking in. Now we're going to perform a safe start. Your spring brakes should be activated. Your low air warning lights and buzzers should be on. Turn the ignition to the start position, then let it go. The bus should start automatically. Place your brake stick between the service brake pedal and the bottom of your seat. Turn on your headlights. Turn on your right turn signal indicator and your amber loading lights. Use your crossover mirror to check the amber loading lights in the front. Now you will go to the back of the bus, checking the seat bottoms, making sure that the seat bottoms are secured to the frames and the frames are secured to the floor. You will check each emergency window you come to, making sure that it opens and closes smoothly, it latches securely, and that the emergency buzzer sounds. Continue to check the seat bottoms and the emergency windows until you reach the back door. If the red lanyard is still hanging in your emergency door window, you must get your bus fogged before leaving your park location, or you can get a spare bus. Open your rear emergency door and check your brake lights, your amber loading lights, and your right turn signal. As you walk to the front, you will be checking the seat backs, ensuring they are secured to the frames and the frames are secured to the floor. When you get to the rear hatch, make sure it is in the locked position. Open it up to the vent position to check the strobe light. Close the rear hatch vent and continue to check your seat backs as you go to the front. Don't forget to check your front emergency hatch and make sure it is in the locked position. Turn on your left turn indicator and walk to the back of the bus. Make sure all your seatbelts are accessible and that none of them are tangled. This is what it should look like. Check to make sure your 3 reflective triangles are present. Open the rear emergency door. The buzzer should be sounding. Check your rear lights. Check your left turn signal, your brake lights, and your amber loading lights. Walk to the front of the bus. Before loading students, all windows and hatches must be open to provide maximum air circulation. Turn off your left turn signal and activate your hazard lights. Remove your brake stick. Check your sanitation station. It's located just below the key lockbox. You can check the level with a flashlight. When the cartridge is empty, pull to the quick service station for replacement. Proceed out the door and go to the right. Check your service door. Check your entry lights. Check your clip lights. Check your turn signal hazard lights. Check your reflective tape and reflectors. Check under the bus for any leaks or hanging wires. Checking your rear tires. Make sure that the tread depth is good and the tread has no damage. Check the sidewall of the tire. Make sure that the recap is not coming loose. Check the lug nuts, make sure they're all present, and the axle seal, and make sure it is not leaking. Make sure your tires are properly inflated. Make sure there are no leaks inside the fueling door. Propane buses have no fuel caps. Check under the tail of the bus for any hanging wires or leaks. Proceed to the rear of the bus. Check your clip lights, red loading lights, hazard lights, tail lights. Check your reflective tape and reflectors. Check for any damage or graffiti. Check between the rear dual tires. Make sure there is nothing lodged in them. Open the emergency exit door. Check for any damage. Check the door seal. Make sure it locks into the open position. Close and lock the emergency door. Proceed to the driver's side of the bus. Check for any body damage or graffiti. Check your clip lights, your turn signal and hazard lights. Check your reflective tape and reflectors. Check under the bus for any leaks or hanging wires. Check your rear tire tread and sidewalls for any damage. Make sure your recaps are not separating. Check your lug nuts and make sure they are all present and tight. Check your rear axle seal for any leaks. Check your tire inflation. Check your exhaust pipe. Proceed to your stop sign. Check the wires, cable, carter pin, and lights. Make sure it is securely attached to the bus. Make sure your battery and fuse door are latched. Make sure your left side mirrors are securely attached. Make sure your hood latch is secure. Make sure your left turn signal and crossover mirror are secured to the bus. Check your tire tread and sidewalls for any damage. Check your lug nuts, make sure they are tight. Check your hub oil seal for any leaks, and check your tire inflation. Go to the front of the bus. Check your clip lights, red loading lights, turn signal, hazard lights, and headlights. Check your reflective tape. Check for any body damage or graffiti. Check under the bus for any leaks or hanging wires. Check your crossing gate. Make sure it is not damaged and it is securely attached to the bus. Make sure your right crossover mirror, right turn signal, and right mirrors are securely attached to the bus. Make sure your hood is latched. Check your front right tire, tread, and sidewalls for damage. Make sure your lug nuts are all present and tight. Check your hub oil seal for any leaks. Check your tire inflation. Proceed to the inside of the bus. Check your steel roll lights and handrails. Check your emergency equipment. Make sure your body fluid cleanup kit and first aid kit are present and fully stocked. Make sure your fire extinguisher is fully charged. Make sure your seatbelt cutter is present and accessible. Check your disinfectant spray and single-use towels. Make sure you have enough to sanitize all high-touch areas after each of your runs. Sit down, buckle your seatbelt, make sure it fastens and is not damaged. Close the service door. Make sure your camera system is working. The green circular light on your control panel must be on. Check your control panel. Cycle each of your fans through all of their speeds. Listen and make sure they all work. Turn on each of your passenger lights and your driver dome light. Make sure they are all working. Then turn your dome light and passenger lights off. Perform a radio check. Make sure you can send and receive messages. Remember, we do not use dispatch for radio checks. Check your windshield washer and wipers. Make sure our wipers work on all speeds. Check your high beam indicator and your four-way hazard indicators. Check all your gauges. Make sure they are accurate. Check your steering wheel play and your horn. Check your reverse beeper. With the park and brake on, cover your service brake and shift to reverse. Make sure your reverse beeper is working. Never have someone stand behind the bus to check your reverse lights. If your bus is equipped with a reverse camera, it will show up in the student mirror. Shift back to neutral. Now it's time to check your parking brake. Shift down to drive and slightly accelerate, no more than 1200 RPMs. The bus should not move. Then shift back to neutral. It's time for your air leakage test. Turn the ignition off and then place the key in the on position. Firmly press the service brake. After the initial drop, you will time 1 minute. Make sure you do not lose more than 3 psi in 1 minute. When the minute is up, start the bus by turning the key to the start position and then letting it go. Remember, propane buses start automatically. Cancel your hazard lights. Record your pre-trip inspection. Press the inspection key on the Synovia tablet. Select Perform. Select the correct pre-trip for your bus. Record any defect for every page. If there are none, press Next. On the last page, select Send. Press Yes to digitally sign the inspection. This will log and save the inspection. Now let's go over the COVID protocols during your run. Drivers are required to wear their face mask at all times while student or staff are present. Reusable face masks will be provided for all drivers. Disposable gloves will be provided. Face shields are optional, but we highly recommend that they be used while loading and unloading. Drivers are to remind your students to wear their face mask if they have one. Remember, you cannot force students to wear face masks. It is recommended you use a face shield while loading and unloading students at all bus stops and schools. While driving, we recommend you keep the face shield in the up position. Before you sanitize your bus between the morning routes, you must pull away from the loading zone to a safe location. On your afternoon routes, pull to a safe location after you have dropped your last student. You should not load your students until you have sanitized the high-touch areas. It is recommended we use our disposable gloves when we disinfect our high-touch areas. Spray the driver's compartment, including the steering wheel, park and brake, and gear shift. Never spray the control panel. Spray the handrails. Spray the seat backs, buckles, and seat tops on the left and the right, working your way to the back of the bus. Wipe down your seat backs, your seat tops, and your buckles on the left and the right as you work your way to the front of the bus. Wipe down the driver's compartment and the handrails. Stow your sanitizer and single-use towels. Remember to keep the sanitizer in a safe place out of the student's reach. Pick up all your dirty single-use towels, dispose of them in the trash can, then dispose your gloves. Don't forget to use the sanitizing station and sanitize your hands. Now you must log your high-touch inspection on your Synovia tablet. It will be under the Inspection tab. Now you can sit down, buckle up, start your bus, and proceed with your next route. Let's go over our additional COVID protocols. Manage seating. Pre-K, K, and First are to sit in the front seats for both the AM and PM runs. In the AM, you will tell all other students to load from the back to the front. Unloading at the schools will be done from the front to the back. When loading at the school in the afternoon, try to load your last stops in the back of the bus and work forward with the students getting off first in the front seats. Don't forget to keep the pre-K, K, and first graders in the front few seats. Because a possible need for student contact tracing may arise, you will have assigned seating for every run, and a completely fold-out seating chart for every run. Remember, middle and high school students are restricted to 2 in a seat. Do not exceed more than 2 students in a seat. Elementary students can be more than 2 to a seat. For on-lot parkers, your bus will be sprayed with disinfectant fog after your morning and afternoon run. Just park in your normal park location and your red fogging lanyard and it will get done. Off-lot parkers will have a designated sanitation station at one of the schools in your zone. Consult your supervisor for more information. Let's go over your post-trip procedures. Park your bus in its park location, engage the parking brake, and shift to neutral. Check your gauges. Make sure you have at least a half a tank of fuel. Shut off your headlight and all your fans. Then turn your ignition to the off position and pump down your brakes. Now walk your bus. Go to the back of the bus checking for students, left belongings, vandalism, and trash. Shut off the student alarm, making sure that the lights flash. On your way to the front, continue to check for students, left belongings, vandalism, and trash. Check your seatbelts. Make sure they are not damaged and that they are all accessible. And close all open windows and vents. Hang your red fogging lanyard so your bus can be disinfected between runs. If you need fuel, you will also have to hang your yellow fueling lanyard. Make sure the lanyards are hanging in the middle of the window. Check your disinfectant spray. Make sure you have enough for your next route. Put the manual door switch to the open position. Open the service door. On your way out, check your hand sanitizer and make sure that you have enough for the next route. Now check the outside of your bus for any body damage. Look under the bus for any leaks or hanging wires. Check your tire, wheel, and lugs for any damage. Remember to do this for the right side, back, left side, and front of the bus. Next, you must log your post-trip inspection under the Inspection tab on your Synovia tablet. Don't forget to digitally sign your inspection to log and finalize it. Don't forget to empty your trash and put a clean trash bag in your trash can. Now it is time for you to clock out. Once you are off the bus, don't forget to close the service door. Now let's review. You must wear a mask at all times while student or staff are present. For added protection, face shields are recommended for loading and unloading students. You must sanitize your bus after delivering students or before picking them up. Disinfectant spray will be provided. Don't forget to log the high-touch inspection on the Synovia tablet. You cannot force the students to wear a face mask. You need to check your sanitation station. Make sure you have enough hand sanitizer for your students. And remember, no more than 2 middle or high school students in a seat. Elementary students can sit more than 2 to a seat. Don't forget to hang your red fogging lanyard so that your bus can get disinfected after the AM and PM runs. If you need fuel, hang your yellow fueling lanyard with your red fogging lanyard after your morning run.